My name is Deborah Disney. I'm a doctoral student at Allen College. This is a project for the Finance and Fiscal Management class. I'll be presenting information about a grant from the Department of Education. It's Title III, Part A, Strengthening the Institution by Expanding Fiscal Stability. So there are several parts to Title III. I'm looking specifically at Part A funds. This is the grant intended to help institutions of higher education to strengthen their fiscal stability and expand their capacity to serve low-income students. Why did I choose this topic? I work at Methodist College, and I'm concerned about our students graduating with a mountain of debt. According to the U.S. Department of Education National Center for Education Statistics, 4 years of tuition and fees at Methodist College is currently almost $85,000. The Nurse Salary Guide lists the average RN salary in Peoria at $57,000 per year. That means the graduate of Methodist College might start their career owing way more in educational debt than a full year of salary. So my first question was, how could we provide more scholarship money to our low-income students? What if we could ask for Title III Part A funds, also known as SIP, to increase our endowed scholarship fund? Perhaps our low-income students would not have to borrow as much, and they could graduate owing less. There are certain eligibility requirements, including that at least 50% of our degree students receive need-based assistance under Title IV of the Higher Education Act, or have a substantial number of enrolled students receiving Pell Grants. Also, we can only apply for SIP funds if we are first eligible for Title III money, which is the grant money that allows students to be hired for federal work-study jobs. It was formerly known as the College Work-Study Program. At Methodist College, I've heard these students referred to as federal work students. Generally, the FSW program provides funds for part-time employment, and the college pays up to 50% of the student's wages. The hourly wage must not be less than minimum wage, and at least 7% of this work-study funding must pay for students to work in community service jobs. SIP grants can be used for a variety of things. Just a few of the ideas listed on the website included purchasing lab equipment, supporting faculty development, constructing new facilities, purchasing library materials, developing student service programs. These funds can also support fund management. I initially started this project with the idea of increasing our endowed scholarship fund. However, I discovered that no more than 20% of a grant award can be used in this way and must be immediately matched with non-federal money. So I thought it would be useful to see examples of previous awards. In fiscal year 16, there were 46 awards totaling almost $20 million. Of those 46, only 6 had asked for endowment money, and none of those abstracts indicated that the endowment money would increase an endowed scholarship fund. So I now realize that there were some missing puzzle pieces to my plan. If we were to receive $450,000, no more than $90,000 of that could go into an endowed scholarship fund, and we would have to match that with non-federal money. So what else could we include in our project? Well, to gather some ideas, I went back to the list of previous awards. As an example, Robert Morris University was awarded a grant for a project in which they will incorporate a service learning component, a peer mentoring program, targeted tutoring sessions, counseling support groups, and academic advising. Applications for SIP grants occur every other year. The application package this year became available for download on March 1st and was due on April 17th. We can go to the Federal Register to see when the DOE will be inviting applications, and the next deadline will likely be in the spring of 2019. So a natural question that arose for me is, how will this be affected by the Trump administration? Though the Department of Education has existed since 1979, it remains to be seen how much of the DOE will remain intact with the appointment of Betsy DeVos as Secretary of Education in the Trump administration. I also wondered whether Methodist College would be an eligible institution, and luckily there is a very handy list of eligible institutions found on the website that's listed at the bottom of this screen. I also wondered about the grant period and the average grant amount. I'd seen earlier in my investigation that the average grant amount is $400,000 for individual development grants and $600,000 for cooperative arrangement development grants. But I was astounded to discover that this is an annual amount for 5 years. So a big question for me pertains to the non-federal funds matching requirement. If a portion of our grant would end up being earmarked for the Endowed Scholarship Fund, would we be able to find non-federal matching funds, and could the money that we already have in our Endowed Scholarship Fund meet this requirement? Grant recipients must submit an interim report after the first 6 months of the grant and an annual report within 90 days after each annual budget period ends. Also, recipients must have an A133 audit annually. At Methodist College, there's a sustainability committee. If they were to consider this project, my suggestion would be to start the conversation in fall of 2018 for the April 2019 application deadline. The first 2 websites listed on this page would help in creating a logic model to achieve the desired outcomes. Thank you.